Yep, just now. Yep.
Charles. Hey, Charles, we're live, Charles.
Hello,
We're live.
everybody. What do you guys say? Hello, everyone, and welcome to another night of Mel and Charlie here, live on Facebook. It's Tuesday, the 23rd. 23rd.
I thought Aloha Friday, not Aloha Friday.
In your mind, it is, but today it's Tuesday,
Okay.
the 23rd. Yeah.
Can we pretend it's
I
Friday?
like I like to think every day is a Friday. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Can we just like pretend it's Friday?
Yeah, absolutely can.
What's going on here? Okay, there we go. So, is it hot where you're at, Charlie? Is
It
it
is
hot?
it is sweltering hot.
Man,
Sweltering.
Yeah.
Charmaine, how's my nose? I saw Charmaine's post about her heartbreaking. Did you see her post? I don't know if I should even say this on live, but she posted it. I don't know if you know Charmaine Moises, but I know that family for a long time, and it just broke my heart. She
Well, yeah,
talked
yeah.
about the
That's
relationship, and after
that's
all
all
these
married
years,
to, yeah. She's married to what is his name? Is that Dougie? What is it?
yeah, yeah, and I thought they were doing so well, and she posted that if you guys talk nonsense, she came out and she just said, "I'm gonna tell you guys what had happened," and after 28 years of happiness and love, and that she had to call it quits, and it broke my
Oh,
heart,
sorry.
broke my heart, but.
Mm,
But it was
so,
she wasn't talking about her relationship with Dougie. She was talking about her relationship with Kit Kat, Snickers, and all the different candy bars.
yeah. No, I'm
So
sorry they
Charmaine,
did it.
let me tell you, you got me good. You got me good. I was really breaking down, man, when I like no. So anyway, just to let you know, Charmaine, you got me. Very few people can get me.
Yeah,
Charlie can every so often,
I can.
but you got me. So anyway, anyway, tonight we got a heck of a show tonight. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed last night. We read the comments, and you're looking okay and sounding normal. Yes, I am okay. I am sounding normal. I'll get my results tomorrow, but all indications are good. So anyway, but tonight we have Jade Waialeale Batad starting it off at 7 o'clock. 7:15 we have Councilmember Mason Chock. At 7:30, council candidate Wally Nishimura. And at 7:45, wrapping up the night is council member Felicia Cowden. So again, same format. They'll have 10 minutes to basically share their platform. Why didn't why Patsy didn't need to take a test since you shared the same space? That was a decision. Doctor gave an option, um, and that's it. That's why she didn't take the test. So anyway, the test is not going to make any difference in the virus, or whether it's me or her. So anyway. How's my nose? My nose is good. So the format is 10 minutes of sharing their platform, their manao as it's called, and then we'll have a 5 minute round of questions. So it went well, Charlie. We had a good time last night. In a short time, we got to learn a lot about, especially the new candidates, the brand new ones. It was really, really nice to hear
Mhm.
from the new ones and see their perspective.
Yep. Well, as I said before, it, you you feel you have something to contribute, you go for it. You don't know if you ever get another chance, and I applaud all of them. I kudos to them, boy. Because not anybody can get up in front of and address people, but that's part of the ball game now. You're gonna have to be doing a lot of public appearances if you get if you do get elected. And it was good to hear, what they felt were their priorities, which direction they were headed. I think they all had good things to say. Now comes down to putting into action. And another thing too, which was kind of interesting, is because there was one incumbent on the group last night. It sort of like set the bar, and you could look back and see how the others did. And I'm gonna say they did pretty darn well. They did pretty darn well.
Yeah, I I didn't think, I didn't know, I wasn't sure how the viewers would take it. I've never done in all my years of politics, never did a Zoom type of forum or showcase. But because of COVID now, that this is the new norm, and I wasn't sure how it would be received by the viewers. But by the comments we got, a lot of people made a lot of positive comments um, regarding the format. That in fact there were no distractions. It's one candidate. It's not a panel. It's not repetitious. It's everyone's individual, and they get 10 minutes. I've never been to any type of forum that you had 10 minutes of your time to say what you wanted to say. And again, we saw last night that some candidates could have taken 20 minutes. Some had extra time. So it's really not about the old saying that it's not quantity, but it's the quality. It's how much can you get across to the viewer and connect. This is going to be a virtual campaign, pretty much. So there's no mentors. There's no books. It's who can get their message out, who can connect with the voter, and there's an old, someone told me this long ago, and I cannot. Me and my wife not to be together. Okay, Doc. So, thank you, Doc. Trust me, everything we did, we cleared with our doctor. All right. But anyway, uh, like I said, there are no mentors, and someone told me a long time ago, and I'm sure many of you have heard this. People will not remember what you said or what you did, but they will remember how you made them feel. And that is really the clue. If I have to give anybody a clue or some hints, that's what I would say. You want to connect in this time, in this 10 minutes. You want to connect and engage with the viewers, and because you can sit up here and say all of your accomplishments that you did, but if you don't engage and you don't get that viewer to basically uh, make them feel good about what you plan to do or what kind of person you are, then they're just not gonna remember.
Well, I think what was what was interesting to note was that one of the candidates had a lot of accolades, a lot of you know accomplishments done, and rightfully more than some of the others, but yet the others were able to make their point with what they had and how well they structured their life in what the minimum of accomplishments they had. So if you were to replay it again, you can see how everything balanced out. And the good thing that I liked about last night, and I've always said this before, that when you see them, not in a forum sense, but maybe you got to see them on maybe like another forum and you get a snippet of what it is. Last night, they got uninterrupted time. And yet, it also taught me about time management. How well can you get your message in there with the allotted time? And how effective can you be? And I think they did a damn good job. I really do. When on the onset, like we had one candidate, he had time to spare, a lot of time to spare. But he got his point across in that short amount of time. Then there's one candidate, he was cramming everything in, but he knew how to utilize the time that was allotted, even during the countdown, how he shifted some of his goals, and he was able to get that in. So I thought, for all the candidates, including the incumbent, it was pretty damn creative what they did, and I liked it.
Well, I agree. I like what I see so far. I think voters are going to have a tough choice. I mean, we got some good candidates, and again, this format I think really allows the viewers to hear them for a good solid 10 minutes. And again, that I don't think that has happened unless you went to maybe their fundraiser where they had a chance to talk amongst supporters. Right now, they all had the same amount of time to prepare for 10 minutes, and nobody gets extra time. Nobody, we cut them off. And if you've seen that, if you were on last night, you saw that last night. We just cut them off because we respect your time as the viewers. We respect the time of our candidates, And I can see already most of the candidates are on watching Facebook while we do this. So it'll be interesting. So we're gonna bring in Jade about 2 minutes ahead of time so we can go over the rules, and then we can get her to start at 7, and everybody gets the 10 minutes. So I'm excited, man. I hope you got some
Yep.
questions, Charles. I hope you got some questions, man.
Well, I have one question that that's important to see, ask them. But I wanted to tell the viewers, I don't know if you folks got a chance to watch the news tonight, but the governor is going to make a very, very important release. I mean, that's what he's leaning towards. And what they are looking at is pre-testing for all travel coming into Hawaii, not inter-island, pre-testing. Everyone must be pre-tested. And before they were saying that if they're not pre-tested, they come here, they got to go through quarantine. No quarantine. They pre-tested. If they're not pre-tested, they don't get on the plane. Okay. And I guess they've got the airlines to buy into it where, I mean, I'm not positively sure, but that's what it sounded like on the news. But they've got the airlines to buy into it that if they don't have a COVID-free card, they don't get on the plane. And if I was the airlines, I would think that's great because I don't want my plane contaminated either, right? So this is the first step, and I think it's a damn good one. Of course, there's a lot of more things that can be done, but I think folks just wanted to let the news out to you. That's what I heard on the news. So if anybody saw that same news, it was on KHON 2 News with Howard Deshevsky. That's what they talked about, and I was very, very happy because we're not going to be fumbling around with people coming in and trying to track them down. So if they didn't get tested, don't even bother coming to Hawaii. And and they're going to do the same as Alaska. That's what it sounds like. So
we'll have a post show recap, and Charlie, we can have a lot of discussion on that. I think there's a lot of people. So like we did last night, gang, hang on. After we get done with the last candidate, then we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about that. I just found out about it. Charlie just told me about it. I was not able to watch the news, so I'm excited to hear more about that. Also, at this time, please hit your share button. Share it.
Yes.
Do a watch party. Do whatever you can so we can get this out to our voters. And if you haven't registered to vote, do so, please. Don't complain if you don't vote. And then if you missed it, I know somebody today asked about how can they see a recording. You can always go to my page or Charlie's page, or these things are shared so much. So you can either go back to our pages, our Facebook page, and go find it, or you can go to my YouTube channel, Mel Raposo, and all of our episodes are on there. Every single night is on there, and you can go watch. You won't be able to see the comments, obviously, but you will be able to see the actual episodes.
And the good thing about it is there's no commercials. There's no commercial. We're not going.
I wish had commercials because then we would get paid.
There's no commercials. When we just give it live, and it's not about how you drive, but it's how you arrive. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
And all right, so we're about ready.
Yes.
Don't forget, hang on after the show. We got some recap. I got some announcements for the testing tomorrow at KBR as well. So let's bring on the lovely Jade Waialeale Batad. I hope. Okay, here we go. Holy moly, look at that lay. Uh-oh, no more sound, Jade. No more sound. Charlie, where's your other kind? Where's your... We're so high tech, Jade. We're so high tech. Look at our graphics. It's amazing. Oh no, Jade.
Okay, there. It's off now. Can you hear us?
Are we
Can
good?
you hear us? Yeah, you're good.
Yay!
Hey.
My
Okay,
God.
welcome, Jade. You are kicking off our second night of candidate profiles, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm going to go over the rules. This is a real quick thing because we get through this right away. So this is how it's going to happen. You're going to be given 10 minutes to share your soul. It's your time. Say what you want. At 8 minutes, you're going to see this. At 9 minutes, you're going to see this. And at 10 minutes, you're going to see this.
Okay.
signs are compliments of Patsy Raposo, my wife, and she's also our timekeeper tonight, so she will tell me when to put up the signs. With that, Charlie, we're gonna get started. It is 7 o'clock. Jade, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much.
You
I would like
forgot
to
to eat,
thank,
Charles.
forgot to eat. I would like to thank both of you, Mel and Charlie, for this forum, this venue, for the amazing people that you've brought on to your show to educate Kauai and your viewing audience. And I thank you so much. That is what True Aloha is all about. And you found a way to be a hero in this time. And I thank you both.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I say aloha kako. I'm married to Poki Batad, my friend and my husband of 28 years. I'm a mother to Tara, Tori, and Tylee. I am honey to Tate Dallas and Ty Austin. I am Jade Waialeale Batad, and I am running for county council for Kauai and Niihau. As a minister, I know a thing or two about service, and I desire to serve our community. I was hired by Mayor Baptiste many years ago, and he gave me a rock, and on that rock it said the words Kuleana painted on it. And he said, we all have a responsibility to our community, and someday you'll know what yours is. You'll know what your Kuleana is. That time is now, and my Kuleana is to serve. Our island lifestyle is changing, and we need to secure the future for our children and their children. The main issues have been the issues for quite some time, and they may continue to be our issues. The state and county cannot resolve all those issues alone. We, you and I, we have Kuleana, a responsibility to make a change. What will we do for our beloved island? My campaign slogan is a proverb from Matthew 22:39, and it says, Aloha ke kahi I ke kahi, to love one another. And sometimes that's a warm and fuzzy kind of love. It feels good. Other times it's tough love. And sometimes it's love with action. But it begins with us, with you and me, and it begins with aloha. And if I aloha you and you aloha me, then we both take a seat at the table to make a difference. My platform issues might have been different pre-pandemic, but in light of these difficult times, we have to roll up our sleeves. People are hurting. We need jobs, housing, and food. The fragility of our economy, engineered tourism, and small businesses is how we mohala, how we bloom out of this shutdown. All the while protecting our residents' rights to our island's treasures and our island way of life. Affordable housing should be available to everyone, ensuring that our future generations will be able to make a life and a living on our beloved Kauai. Their one hanau, the land of their birth, the sands of their birth. The county and partners have started this good work with developments like Kaniko'o, Kolopua, Koa'e, Ho'oluana, Kealaula. You know, we've seen all these housing developments coming to be, and it's great. It's a beautiful beginning. There's more work to be done. Agriculture is our future food sustainability. We need ag dedication incentives. Our kupuna, they were sustainable. They had a model. They taught us how. We need to follow their lead. Many people during this pandemic started gardens, like our very own Mel Raposo. But in addressing new ideas, I think we must ask this question. How does this impact us? By increasing fragility or increasing resilience? We should focus on resilience. So when the next crisis comes, and it will, that be it a hurricane or tsunami, stock market crash, or even a global pandemic, that we have the strength to carry on without leaving our people behind in the crisis. This is the aloha that I speak of. About a year ago, I started the work needing to be done to create a healthier me. I started walking, and that came because of my dad and his desire. He was more the walker than I ever was, as you all know. And I set out with the steps, putting my feet to the ground in steps on this island of Kauai. And over the course of the time, I've lost over 100 pounds. I did the dedicated, committed work I needed to do for a healthier me. I showed up. I showed up. And I'm willing to show up if given the chance for Kauai and Ni'ihau. And I am committed to serving you, Kauai, if you would let me. I am Jade Waialeale Batad, and I'm running for County Council.
Oh man, hey, man, I didn't have a chance to put up my card. But anyway, let me just hear you, pal.
You know what? Because I figured you thought I would take all 10 minutes, right?
I thought you would take 14. I was thinking, how are we gonna cut this lady off? Thank you so much, Jade. Powerful statements. Charlie, you got any questions for Jade?
Yes, my dear. First of all, thank you very, very much, Jade. Very impressive with your opening statement there. Thank you. I think, you know, when later on when you get a chance to go back and look at the comments, how it was well received, and I know your love and dedication to our late mayor as well. He did a lot. He did a lot for us, and I know you had an integral part in his administration as well too. My question to you is, if you're elected, what would your priority be, or would look like to see to benefit the county? Because as you know, we have COVID, right? And right now there is a financial strife that's going on. What would you like to see? What would your priority be for this county?
Well, if I am so blessed to pull out one of those 7 coveted chairs around this table at the County Council for Kauai and Ni'ihau, I we have to stop focusing on the negative and start moving towards a positive. We need to stop finding things that we must not do and start identifying the things that we can do. And we have traditionally trusted government to address those concerns and problems. But many problems are not well addressed that way. And I think we have to start looking for how we can be a part of the solution, how we can come together. And I know we see that all the time, and it might even make people pu'iwa, right? Coming together, talk story. People want more action, and they want more buy-in and part of the problem and the solution and working together. And I just think we have to give people that right and that ability. And I think when you look at a community and you look at those that are vested to that community, if you look down in Hanalei, you know who they are. You know who the names are. If you look in Koloa, if you look in Waimea, the amazing town of Waimea and how close they are, you know the movers and the shakers, right? So my big idea is to empower the people closest to the issues of their community to listen to them, involve them, listen to them, and act on what they tell us. Because nobody has more love and passion than those that are close to those communities. Coming out of COVID, we got a lot of work to do. And that work is going to be hard at times. It's going to take hard work, tough issues, to move forward. So that's how I see it.
Okay. No?
I know, Jade, congratulations on your accomplishments with your health. I mean, it's incredible. I think, I supposed to show up a few times and I failed to show up, but you have been around as in your role as a pastor. You've been around this island several times and have, spoken to people of all demographics. What is what do you see as the biggest problem for our residents here? And I know we talk about the drug treatment center as one of them that I know you were a part of from early on as well. What's your position on that as it relates to that problem here on Kauai, the drug problem?
I am so near and dear to the Adolescent Healing and Treatment Center. And I applaud Mayor Baptiste and his initiatives for this. I applaud Mayor Carvalho. I applaud Teresa Koki and even Warren Haruki from Grove Farm for giving the land and for giving it with a distinct purpose and stating that and being bold enough to state it. And then for even going out in Civil Beat and in the Garden Island and saying such, you know, that was a bold move on his behalf. And in this time, it takes courage, it takes truth. We have to stand on truth, and we have to hold people accountable to that sometimes. You know, I was there in the very beginning when NIMBY was a term that was quoted, an acronym that came to life, not in my backyard. And people were extremely passionate about it not being in their backyard. But today we know, Mel and Charlie, we know that every single one of us on our island of Kauai and Niihau and in the state are touched by the atrocities of drugs and addiction and suicide, and the list goes on and on and on, right? And there are key players in that arena, right? People that are amazing and doing the amazing work in that arena every day in the war on drugs or on the battle of dealing with suicide prevention. And they're amazing. They're living their life stream. But I think we in the community, we have to let our kids know that we see you. We see you. We are here for you. And the fact that this was many years in the making to today, a building standing on all the way to fruition, right? Tells our keiki, our youth, our adolescents, that we have this building for you. We if you build it, they will come, right? I think, and then I also believe that by repurposing it, we're like, it's almost like, okay, psych, you know, like, okay, maybe not. And we see you, maybe we don't see you, but our youth need to know that we see them and that we are there for them and that we have this facility where they can heal. I'll never forget the day that I showed up with the recipients from drug court, and there were many of them there. And one gentleman in particular took off his shirt, took a hole, and literally started working on the guinea grass. And you and I know that that's you know, it's a big job, right? And the whole place was covered. And I said, wow, we're going to be here a while. And he said, you know what? My tears and my sweat and even my blood is going into this land so that my kids will have a place to come and heal. And we consecrated that land with our tears that day. This land it was purposed and given for the sole purpose of healing our adolescents. And we have to make sure that we give them that opportunity. So I thank everybody involved, my dear friend, Teresa Koki, who never gave up. And you, Mel, you were part of this as well in you know, in the council and in every way. So I thank everybody involved. Our youth need us. They need us now more than ever. We need to be there for them in every way. And drugs is in all of our backyards. It's every one of us are touched and affected by it.
Charlie?
Yes, 2 minutes.
Oh, any question?
Yes, I have a question to pose to Jade. You know, you talk about our youths.
Right.
There's been a lot of controversy about the upkeep of our parks, the facilities. What do you see can be done? I mean, you know, the administration has one in, but the council always is the one to release funds and what would you like to see the administration do to kind of better our facilities, these parks? What is your goal on that? If you had an opportunity to address it.
Well, thank you. And I'm going to have to tread lightly on this one because some of my favorite humans happen to be in charge of different parks on the island, like my brother Troy and my dear friend Brada Abe Kuhaulua. And so I'm gonna tread lightly. I think our parks crew, first of all, the director of parks, I mean, boy, is that a job and a half. I mean, I remember when I got hired and it was kind of in with Public Works still way back when, and now it's its own separate entity. But it is really, really a tough job. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I applaud the person who sits at that helm. You know, we've had a list of people who have done it. And I think our park staff and our parks people, they do the best they can with what they have to work with. And our county is providing the venue for our public. And we have Kuleana again, right? we have to take care of our parks too. We can't just expect them to. We shouldn't be graffitiing the bathrooms. We shouldn't be breaking it. We should be doing everything we can to help our county to preserve the parks so that our keiki, our kupuna, our families can go and enjoy. And I applaud the county for the work they're doing. I think they're doing an incredible job. Our mayor too. Thank you.
Okay, Jade, last contact. How can they contact? I would suggest on this feed you put your contact information, your email, your website if you have one. But for the viewers right now, how can people get in touch with you? You got an email?
I do. Please email me at friendsofjade@gmail.com. I also have a Friends of Jade Waialeale Batad for council, county council, Facebook page. And please email me, and I would love to address whatever questions you have, and let's talk story. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you. Hello.
We're kicking off to bring on Mason. So thanks again. Good job. Applause. Oh, he added the E now. All right. Okay. We'll see you around. Take care. God bless.
Mahalo.
Thank you.
All right. Let us bring in. Oops.
You know, I left the E off for a reason, you know, because the E has been haunting me ever since Where E Kupuna. Remember now.
Oh, okay. All right. Mason, thank you for putting up a graphic, Councilmember Chock, with your email and your website. Thank you so much. Everybody clap. Okay, Mason, this is like a fire round. We got 10 minutes, free time, say what you want. At 8 minutes, you'll get this. At 9 minutes, you'll get this. And then you'll get the bam. Okay, so with that, you got a ton of people watching. The floor is yours, sir.
Testing. Can you hear me okay, Mel?
We can.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Aloha mai kako and aholoa. Good evening, and thank you for having this forum. It's really appreciated. I think all the candidates, I'm sure, appreciate it as well. So my name is Mason Chock. As you can see, I got the fancy, Shaila help me with that tonight. But I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. Born and raised here in Kauai. You know, grew up in Poipu in the 1970s, and went to Holy Cross School, Koloa School, Kapa'a School, went almost every school on the island before going to Kamehameha and boarding there. Graduated from Manoa, University of Hawaii, Manoa, with a business degree, and came home to be what most Kamehameha students become, which is usually a teacher or a nurse, but I became the third option, which was a firefighter. And so I was a firefighter for 12 years rather. And I enjoyed it. That's where I found my heart for community service and working in government. And was in a helicopter crash. Subsequently, wasn't able to continue, and hurt my back at that time. So similar to what Mel, who was in public service, understanding what that's like to move on into other areas of service. And so this was one that naturally opened up. For me, it was more of a life journey, trying to find myself and figure out what I was going to do. And part of that journey was engaging with the community. I was involved with a lot of Native Hawaiian programs, worked with Napua No'eau for years, and helped start a charter school, Kano'i Kopono. And then naturally just, looked into leadership development. I started a challenge ropes course on the North Shore at Waipa'a Foundation. And the next step was to start and help with leadership Kauai. And so that was a big passion of mine. Leadership development since then has been a huge passion of mine because I do believe it has the means for us to build capacity. And especially on an island like ours, I felt like, we can make a model for the rest of the world if we have an island that are kind of aligned and thinking about what's important. What are our values? What is the lifestyle on Kauai that we want to preserve? Because as you know, right when Leadership Kauai got started, there was a lot of challenges. I mean, that was when we first started seeing really big economic booms on Kauai, and our community meetings were becoming contentious. People weren't as happy around the table. And so how do we stay at the table and have these kinds of difficult conversations, as the inevitability is that we will grow, but do it in a positive way, retaining who we are and what we want to be. For the last two elections, my campaign slogan has been Ho'i Ika Piko. And I'll explain it very quickly. Literally, it means to return to the source. And what it translates for me is, understanding who we are first and what's important to us, and all those things that make make our lives simpler, right? And I think, that's really a message that you're seeing resonate through all of the candidates this term, or this election rather, is they've seen out of COVID-19 who we want to be and how we want to return to the simpler lives. And we all have experienced that growing up on Kauai, without the traffic and having a better handle on our own future. So, I heard in the last conversation, about what is the biggest challenge, and I think it's the cost of living for Hawaii and for Kauai residents. And I think we have to tackle that as best as we can. For me at the council or the county council, I think that, we have a few tools to our disposal that we can traditionally look at. And for me, it is, well, first would be how we get financial stability for residents, and then preserving the way of life. And the way to do that is, one, through our tax code. Our tax code is one of the only huge tools we have as a council. It's the only thing that we bring money in, really, truly from. Not the only, but the biggest source. And so how can we utilize the tax code in a way that incentivizes what we want, right? Which is helping local people and stay in their homes, but also de-incentivizes the kind of growth that we don't want. And I believe that that's one of the areas that we need to continue to look at. We have a tax system, and bless our tax office, because I've visited them. I've seen what they work with, the computers that they work with, the software that they work with, and it's dated and it needs updating. And we need to be able to provide them the tools in order to move us into the 21st century. Oahu has invested in updated software. They've created tiers. So has Maui County. And these things have really helped, I feel like, to usher them into being able to address the exemptions that are necessary, as well as move people to where they want to, and where we want to. The other piece that is huge for the council is the budget. And I know you folks have been paying attention to that a lot. It is going to be the piece that we need to look at in the next coming years. And I believe when we look at the budget, it's obviously going to require us to discern how it is we save more money and figure out how to do more with less. And so some people have talked about that already. And I think we can. One is we invest in the capital, the people. And human capital is really important. We need people who are motivated, self-motivated, and self-driven, that will lead the community, right? The biggest piece that I think overall out of the budget and the tax tiers that I just talked about is the people, the community. One of the major pinnacles of leadership is that we look for inclusiveness, and that means representation. Everyone has a voice at the table, and that's what the council is there for. And I'd like to see that happen a little more fluidly. So how can we do that where we give people opportunity for them to provide their perspectives and insight and ideas? Because you know what, we're going to have to be very creative in this next few years in order to leverage the resources to be successful. And so those are some of the things I want to take a look at. Housing, of course, huge center of the issues, and we want to take a look at how it is we can continue that. We've done a lot of work, I feel like, in housing and in planning. We've started to really overhaul the comprehensive zoning ordinance, making it more easy for our local residents to build. And we got to work with our water department in order to bring some of the cost for water infrastructure down. Going back to the tax base, as the market starts to drop, and people need to realize this, is right now we have a cap on the tax code, on the tax rates, right, for homestead. But we have a ceiling that goes no more than 3%. We have a floor as well. So as markets drop, people are going to hit the floor and they're going to get stuck on the floor. So what is the council and the mayor's office going to do about that? Are we going to take away that floor? Are we going to allow the tax rate to also lower? Or is the money more important? And those are big questions that I think the next council will have to address. And there may be some amendments that we need to consider in order to provide people with the means of staying in their homes. And I know we're doing as much as we can in responding to this crisis, to this emergency, but we're going to have to do more, because now it's just the beginning of it, right? And so I was so happy to see Malama Pono, being able to offer rental assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance coming right up this week. We're going to have to look for funds to continue those kinds of services, I believe, into the next year and maybe even further on. So I got 2 more minutes. I just wanted to kind of wrap it up by just sharing with everyone that I believe the next few years is going to take every single person, and we're going to have to really hui together, all of us. The community leaders will come up and step out. You know, I'll try and answer one of the other questions that you had, because I noticed it's coming. It's about the Adolescent Treatment Center. We talked about it the last time I was here. But, you know, I believe that the community fought so hard for it. Let's give the community a chance to make sure it can see its way through. And I think that if we rally, we pull together and appeal to our administration, that might be an opportunity for us to get it back. I don't know. I think that's it right now for me. There's so much more to talk about, and I'm looking forward to it. My hope is that I get another round on the council. My last term. It'll be my last term. It's been 7 good years, but I hope to continue one more in serving Kauai community. And of course, you can see my website, Mason4, Kauai.org. Of course, always feel free to email me, Mason4 Kauai@gmail.com, and my phone number. Here it is, everybody, 651-7013. Happy to talk to you folks anytime, and so that we can be the best Kauai possible.
Right on. Mel?
Thank you, Mason. Thank you very much. Appreciate your you sharing. What, you know, I know the budget is going to be one heck of a ride. You know, this was a tough budget going in. Next year, next fiscal year is even going to be tougher. You're going to have at least two new council members on the council. What do you see as being the biggest challenge in the budget, knowing that all of these people going through this pandemic, and a lot of people have been getting their payments deferred, rentals deferred, credit cards deferred, not erased. They're gonna have to come up and pay that all back, and some people are still struggling, even having gotten any kind of income. What is going to be the biggest challenge in the budget in the next fiscal year with the brand new council?
Well, Mel, you know, you're really familiar with this. You know that 80% of our budget is personnel. You know, it is our workers. And so it behooves us to take a look at how we, you know, address that portion of the budget moving forward. And while the last thing anybody wants to do is to eliminate or take away jobs from people in a time like this, I think that we all have to understand that everyone has to take a piece of it, right? And so people right now are taking a piece of it. They're suffering, they're on unemployment, some of them not getting unemployment. And the inevitability when worse comes to worse for Kauai County is we're gonna have to look at how it is we curb some of that budget down. You know, we've done furloughs in the past, Mel, you know that those haven't worked out as well as we thought they would. But there are other mechanisms. And I think you see this administration sort of testing the waters already with it. You've seen the 410 schedule. That might not translate economically, but in the long run, it could. We need to be creative in that way. And I think that everyone needs to be open to it. Of course, working directly with our unions and having a conversation really early, like now, about what that's going to be like. And in every single one of the annual endorsement interviews with our unions, that has been my request is, you know what, let's sit down and talk about how it is we're going to exist, because we cannot continue to provide services if we cannot continue to afford it. And that's just the reality of it. So we do less for more with more, right? We do it in every way by building people's ability to do more on their own and be self-driven and provide the resources and creativity to get the job done. But we also realize that this is a service position, just like us at the council. We're servants, and that we're all gonna take the hit together as an island to make it work.
Thank you. Charlie?
Mason, I don't know where to begin. I had you on the last time and listening to what your presentation was tonight, it's I can see where you're passionate, but I'm gonna just ask you straight on, you know, what is your priority? Your last term, what do you want to make as your priority in your last term?
Thank you. No, it has to be our financial resiliency. And I'm not talking just about the county, but I'm talking about as an island. And of course, that means being able to bring in the funding and appeal and work closely with our state legislators as well as our federal government to ensure that we have the resources to build our own capacity, right? Self-sufficiency has always been at the forefront of our heads, of every single person on this island, thinking we have to diversify, we have to do more outside of the visitors industry. And I think this is our opportunity. As I said before, in crisis, opportunity awaits for us. This is the chance for us to do so. So as we grow back the way we want to, you know, it will take the ability for us to say, you know what, we're going to invest in that shuttle in order to get those rental cars off of the street through the Kapaa corridor and maybe even on the west side. We're going to do whatever we can to ensure that we know where our tourists are going and how they're getting there, and that there's limitations to it, so that we can provide what is they're exposed to, not be subjected to it. So I think that that's just one example. Of course, the 8 sectors that we are investing in through the economic recovery plan are all of those areas that I think we need to really dive deep into, and that came straight from the community. And so I look forward to being able to unpack those even further to the action items that we need to build into this next 2 years. And it'll take more than 2 years, but I think we can set a strong foundation for that to occur in my last term.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
We get probably time for one more question. I'm going to try and we got tons of questions. So again, if you guys got questions that's not covered tonight, hit up Mason at his email or his website. But you know, this pandemic statewide has shown, actually nationwide, the ability of people to work from home, to telework, and in many cases that's working out very well. Is that something that you would consider looking at? Is that how can we really expand the teleworking force on those that can actually get as much work done, if not more, from home, and keeping people off the street? I sorry, you get about 10 seconds.
I mean, yes. You know, obviously, I think technology is huge, but we have to have the capacity to do the right kind of technology. That's a huge issue. The infrastructure is not there. So I look forward to it. I think that it is an option, and we need to look into it even further.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mason. Appreciate your time. We got his contact information on the screen. Write it down, audience. Applause.
Mahalo nui, everybody.
Aloha, my man.
Thank you.
All right. Whew. This is like the fire round. Ready? We got council candidate Wally Nishimura next. And there he is. Council candidate Nishimura, can you hear us?
Hey, Mel.
It's a little soft. I'm not sure why it's so soft, but okay.
Yeah.
Wally, this is how it works. I think you've been watching, but you get 10 minutes to let the people know where you're at, what your platform is. At 8 minutes, you'll see this. At 7 minutes, 9 minutes, you'll see this, and then you'll get the POW. And then we'll have a 5-minute discussion between the three of us. So anyway, with that, Wally, the floor is yours, buddy.
Thank you, Mel. First and foremost, aloha, Mel and Charlie. Thank you for the opportunity to come on the show and for everything that you've done with your platform to serve the people of Kauai. I think we've all been watching and we all appreciate it very much. And you're not even getting paid to do this, Mel. And Charlie too. Aloha, everyone. My name is Wally Nishimura. I'm happily married and a father of 4. I was born on Oahu and grew up on Kauai. I attended Kapaa schools my entire life. Currently, I serve as the Regional Environmental Services Superintendent and Regional Safety Officer for Hawaii Health Systems Corporation, Kauai Region, and I'm running on my 2nd campaign for Kauai County Council. Traffic's been an issue for years. I don't think we've seen new roads in at least 20 years since the Kapaa bypass is open. I know it was an issue last election. It was still an issue pre-COVID. Since COVID, the one positive thing has been the lack of traffic on the road because the rental cars are all parked at Kmart or by the airport. But I know that we need to address it still. When we welcome tourism back, we can expect that with the employees going back to work and the rental cars going back on the road, we still have to anticipate the need for alternative routes. I also know that we need to address potential for sea level rise due to climate change. And that's a multi-pronged solution with alternate routes, especially like in the Waialua area. If you're driving past the cocoa palms, you'll see the beach is eroded and the waves are coming up and it's getting closer. And I think we really need to start to move our infrastructure Mauka. to also assist with that, we need to implement what was done in Hyanna island-wide. We need a shuttle service. I've worked 2 full-time jobs. I load my kids up in the car. By the time we get down to Poipu Beach Park, it's like 11 o'clock on a Saturday, and I can't find any place to park. No local person should ever have to go through that. Our landfill was also an issue last election as well. It continues to be an issue. It's been pushed, and the can's been kicked. I think they expanded it for 7 years the last time. I know that we need a different solution, whether it's clean energy or looking for a different place. I personally don't think it's a good idea to keep digging holes and putting trash in the ground. I see what's in the trash, and I don't think it's good for the island. I like to support clean incineration to energy. I think it'd be a great opportunity. I know that Honolulu has its own issues. I know that we don't have to get an incinerator that's the same size as Honolulu. I know we could get one based on the weight that we produce at Kekaha landfill that can be used on Kauai. And I think it'd be a great way to diversify our energy and power. We're moving away from fossil fuel to solar, to wind. Why not use our trash? I also want to implement curbside recycling. I know that costs money. We gotta talk about it at some point. It worked out very well. I also know that we need to diversify our economy. I want to suggest farming and technology. I support work, housing, and farming similar to what the plantation saw. I know a lot of local people that grew up in plantation housing. They could work, they could live, they stayed here. My parents, my uncles. And I think it's a successful way to keep people on island and to diversify our economy. I also like to see technology specifically in all fields, but specifically to support the Pacific Missile Range facility. I know with the Star Wars program, there was talks of it coming to Kauai. And I used to work at PMRF. And I know that PMRF pays local people, many local people on the west side, from all over the island. I used to drive there from Anahola. They pay a living wage. And I support that for local people to get paid well to stay on Kauai. And I know that through a diversified economy, we can ensure local people can stay here and purchase a home. I support all the current initiatives for affordable housing. And I like to see fee simple developments for locals, since I know it's a dream to have a yard to play in, not a condo. Our houseless issue has so many different aspects to it. And some is by choice. Some people prefer to be out there. Some it's because they can't afford a house. Some, I think there's a big part that we need mental health support. And we don't have that on the island. I think we have opportunities with what we have on island, like with the Sano Mahilona master plan, to potentially expand, to provide behavioral health services that we need for people on our island. And I think we need support from the state. And I will advocate for that as a Kauai County councilman. I also want to touch on my Hawaiian heritage. I'm very passionate. I live on Hawaiian homeland, and I've seen a lack of support from the state. There's a whole subdivision behind my house, undeveloped. There's electric lines, there's water, there's roads, there's street signs. There's not one house. They could probably build 200 houses back there. I want to get everyone on the list a house. After that's done, I want to fight to lower the blood quantum so that my kids can get a house. I think the 2 million acres that they have in Hawaiian homeland is not being used. And I realize that might be a state issue. I'll fight and advocate for it as a councilman. And ideally, I'd like to just go run for governor and take the pen to paper and make it happen. But I know I can't do that. I got to start somewhere. I'm going to start here. I'm going to work my way up to it. And I'm willing to put the time in to invest to get that done. COVID-19 has impacted our island, just to say the least. As far as opening our island, I believe we need testing, 100%. We need that to complement getting our economy going again. My mother works in hospitality. She doesn't have a job. A lot of my friends work in hospitality, don't have a job. I suggest you come in with a negative test for 72 hours prior to coming in. And outside from that, just have the basic mannerisms. if you don't feel good, don't come. If you come and you sneeze, cover your mouth, wash your hands, be conscious of people around you. We can continue social distancing. We just have to be smart. But I know we gotta get things going again. I know in general, Kauai also needs to be prepared in any emergency situation. We need a plan, and we need to constantly drill it. People have seen like our cell phone service go down. Why we can't fix that right away? Why are we down for a whole day? We don't have a cow. A cow is cellular on wheels. We don't have one on Kauai. I'd like to see Kauai purchase one to have ready in case of a hurricane, in case somebody cuts the power line when they're building construction, or in case somehow the line between Honolulu and Kauai gets cut. We just have to be prepared. I have experience in emergency management and healthcare as a regional safety officer. I chair the Environmental Care Committee, and I want to bring that perspective to the Kauai County Council. I know the frustrations of the people. I'm also frustrated. And now is not the time to be political. We have to be real. We have to be honest. We have to be straightforward. I know I come across as strong, but I will be a fighter for the people. I will hold everyone accountable. You will see transparency in local government if I'm elected to the Kauai County Council. I believe we need more council discussions in each community, and I will bring that to the people. I humbly ask for your support and your vote. Please visit my website, votewallynishimura.com. My cell phone number is 808-651-6519. You could email me at wally.nishimura@hotmail.com. I thank you so much for your time. Aloha.
Thank you, Wally. Charlie?
Well, I'm going to kind of change it up a little, Wally. First of all, thank you very much for your presentation. Again, if you later on, if you have the chance, look at the comments. A lot of good comments coming across. Very inspiring. You talked about one thing that I think is truly a headache for everyone, and that is the traffic. I'll give you an example. Been to island of Maui. Had my entire career up there. Never thought they would ever make a bypass because there was always complained that Lahaina, whenever there's a big traffic, you can't get out of Lahaina. But they finally built a road to get around that town. Do you, if elected as council, would you go for something like that to get a workable bypass? Something that's really would make a difference, because right now when there's an accident on any part of the island, everything comes to a standstill. There's no getting around. As council, would you look for something like that?
I absolutely would. And I know that I could not take credit for that when it comes to fruition. I know Mel's worked on it long before last election, from 2006, 2007. And I know a lot of other people have also put input, and I know people care, and I know people want to see something happen. I would work with the people who have been trying. I would bring my new ideas to the table. I'd work with the administration. I'd find the revenue sources, whether it be our fair share of the TAT tax or our share of our GET tax with the increase. And I know both will see an impact due to COVID, but we just gotta, the money's always there. We gotta prioritize it. And I'd make it a priority for sure.
Okay.
Well, you covered a whole lot, man. I appreciate that. You covered a whole lot. And I know one of the refreshing things for me is when someone is willing to tackle an issue that may be a state issue. All too often we hear from politicians, that's a state issue, that's a federal issue. The bottom line is it's our issue.
Yes.
One of the concerns I have is the limited home rule authority that the county has, as far as surcharges on rental cars, surcharges on people coming off the airplane. Would you be willing to stand up and lead the charge? Because I haven't really heard anybody, I've tried and it's tough, to lead the charge and have our legislators at the state level start discussing the opportunity for the county to have surcharge authority.
Absolutely, I will. I'm inspired. I respect our state legislators. I appreciate what they do. I know that there's a whole group of them, not just from Kauai, with the committees. And I would love to go up there and let them know how Kauai feels, similar to what somebody I look up to did a couple years ago. But absolutely, you have to support it. we need money. It's not going to come off the backs of locals. It should come from tourism. I would also support other streams of revenue, like charging people, tourists who bring rental cars to the beach to park, and nominal fee to use their beach parks. And I think they'd be open to do that because everywhere you go on the mainland, there's a fee to go somewhere. And so it'd just be something they'd be used to coming here and to generate money for the county.
Thank you. Charlie, anything else?
Yeah, last thing. I brought this question up earlier about our parks. Every so often, you know, you've seen it on Facebook. People are getting very, very frustrated at, you know, our county's trying to do as much as they can. Our parks, would you see some type of restructuring as far as the funding? I'm trying to keep the parks up to snuff, making sure that everyone has access to our parks and they can use it.
Yeah, you know, I think the tourist tax charge to go to visit the park or to park a vehicle could help. I think a lot of the issues with our parks lies in accountability, and I hold people accountable at the top. I've been to our parks. I've seen the worst conditions. I've seen the best conditions. I've gone to a county park with my family with COVID going on, and there's no soap in the bathroom. That's just the reality. You know, everybody like wash their hands. We gotta protect ourselves. I agree, but no more soap in the bathroom. And so I start with accountability at the top. You gotta hold the top person accountable. I know a lot of good people that work in parks that work really hard, and they probably need support from people at the top as well.
Okay.
But it is good to hear. I think a lot of times our park guys get criticized, and yet, you know, you got to give them the tools to do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, I know I heard you talk about let's talk the drug treatment center. You know, this whole controversy going on now that the repurposing without informing the council or the landowner. What's your position on that? Do you support the repurposing, or do you support keeping it as originally planned as a residential treatment center?
It should be what it was originally planned for. No doubt about that in my mind at all. I think for the time being right now, I think it was revealed it's a isolation facility for COVID. I think that's fine. It's a good use for it. It's you know, out there, but it should never have gone off of what it's supposed to be used for. It's a shame.
Thank you. We probably got 30 seconds. Not much we can do as far as a question, but Wally, one more time, if you want to give out your contact information
Yes.
for the people watching.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much. VoteWallyNishimura.com. My email, wally.nishimura@hotmail.com. My direct cell phone number is 808-651-6519. Please call me. Please email me. Please feel free to reach out. I'm here.
Thank you, Wally. Appreciate your time. Good luck. Work hard. And we will be doing this again. So just keep up the good work. Aloha, guys.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wally.
Thank you.
All right. We started off with a female, and we're going to lock it up with a female. We got Council Member Felicia Cowden that's going to be coming in right now. We get the applause. You got to get the applause. We get the applause.
Applause.
Councilmember Cowden, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Perfect, perfect. All right. I know you've been watching, but let me just
I've
go.
been
I
watching.
feel like a talk show host. You got 10 minutes to say whatever you want to say to capture the hearts of our viewers. At 8 minutes, you'll get this. At 9 minutes, you'll get that. And at 10 minutes, you will get that. And then we'll share for about 5 minutes or so. So with that, man, it's all yours, Felicia.
Okay. Thank you so much. I want to thank both of you for this whole season of really great programming that you've done. I'm happy to share about myself. I'm Felicia Cowden. This is my first term in office, and I am really honored to have this job responsibility. Another really positive that's happened is I'm on a council that I think really works well together. For the most part, we get along well. We're very diverse and different. it's been easy to work with each other. And when I listen to the different candidates that are considering being in office, I look forward to any of them as well. It's nice to hear the very different perspectives that can come to the table, and that's what makes the council really make a very positive difference in the whole process, because we learn from each other. The questions each other asks are very important. So a little bit about me for the people who don't know me. I would say I'm a heavy extrovert, so I love to work with people. I enjoy it. I'm so excited with this job. I'm happy to do it 7 days a week, you know, as much as possible. I give out my number, 652-4363, and I'm happy for all the people who have reached out to me. And I have two young men sons, two grown sons. I would say that's another big positive that I have to bring to the table. My kids are grown. I had a business for 18 years, surf and skate shops. Honolulu Surf Company is the main one. I've also done an alternative school program called Akamai Learning. But all those things are to the side right now. So this is my full focus, and I'm available just about at any point. My campaign slogan, I've appreciated how that's been coming up, so I'm going to say it. My campaign slogan is putting people first. What I mean with that is that I will go if somebody has a challenge, and I will go and look at what the problem is, be there right by their side, go and experience it, understand what's going on in their neighborhood, walk the street with them to try and figure it out. Policy is really important, but so are the people. And I think that I've watched really good policy get constructed for the intended purpose of what that policy is written for. But I've lived long enough and made enough mistakes that I have had plenty of surprises with things that I thought were the best of intentions. So I've really learned to listen to people with a different viewpoint, and actually to go out and look at who could be impacted, make an effort to call them, make an effort to make sure they're informed. I think many policies happen and people don't even know that it's coming, and you get blindsided and you make a mistake. So I think that what people can expect out of me is that I'm always going to have time for them, and I'm going to be working on all sides of the issues. Just like you guys are doing your Zoom programs, I've had a radio show for, I can't lost count of how many years, but at least 10, probably more like 12. And so I've learned to listen to all sides of the issues with respect. I call it suspended disbelief. I'm not listening with the viewpoint that I'm already expecting to hold and listening to why they're wrong. I'm listening just to truly hear what they have to say. And that helps me find balance. Usually if somebody's really emotional about something, they're emotional for a reason. There's an issue that's happened. And when I sit and I listen to it, it helps me have an understanding. And something that I've really enjoyed with what you and Charlie have done in your programming is, Charlie, I'm so sorry for the loss of your brother to the virus. That's heartbreaking. And it gives you an authenticity as you're telling the story and you're asking these. And when people watch it night after night, they grasp what you've gone through. We went through it with you. So the importance of taking the virus seriously, the value of us being very careful is critical. And Mel, not just in these shows, but beyond that, it's tough seeing your kids have to move away to Oregon. Have you even think, well, maybe you want to move and go be with them, right? That's the economy side of it. And something I've been pushing on, we've had this blessing of, for the most part, having the virus off the island. Now we opened the door a little bit and it seems like it's cracked in, whether it's because we opened the door and are letting the inter-island travel come in or not, but it could be that. So by shutting everybody out, and especially by the level of stopping businesses, there's been so much economic damage that's happened. Does it make anybody wrong who's making those policies? No, but both issues are very important. And I see lifetime dreams and efforts. Some are closing permanently. We have generations behind some of these business efforts. And when we have had this profound failure of the unemployment system on Oahu not working out, there are people who didn't get any money for a month, 2 months, some even 11, 12 weeks, right? That's a real big issue. I think, you know, if I had had a little bit more say in it, something I probably would have done is taken some of our redirected workers here on Kauai that were remote working, maybe having less to do, and try to put them dedicated to working with the state to be funneling and creating a faster pathway for people to get assistance. Because I know for probably 2 solid months every day, I was working with people who are deeply stressed, and we see neighborhood violence, neighborhood intolerance, all kinds of challenges. So having the balance of caring about the virus, but also having the balance of going, there might not be so much social distancing on the edge of need on the edge of a weed whacker, right? Who walks up to a weed whacker? You know, maybe some of these things could have come open a little bit earlier. I'm not trying to criticize the actions that happened, but I definitely am sympathetic to the challenges that we've had, where we've had businesses go under. And I think there's going to be a lot more going under. I think we're going to hit a whole big second wave, maybe of the virus. We haven't really even had the first wave, in my opinion, of the virus. We've had one hospitalized person. So we're still ripe for a first wave and a second wave. While we're talking about that, like you, and thank you for what you guys promoted last night, I am getting my COVID-19 test tomorrow. I'm going to do the nose one and the antibody one. I feel that it's my responsibility to experience it. Also, I really want to be safe for people I interact with. I have worked hard to be observing the challenges that we've been, the distance that we've been asked to do. But still, as an elected official, I'm out there, I'm around people. Okay, so what have we learned? COVID-19 has given us a big opportunity to see what's happened before us. We've seen, yes, we can have environmental stewardship immediately, right? All these planes stopped flying in the sky. We stopped all this consumerism. There's many ways, if we wanted to, for the people who are concerned about climate change. We can do it if we want to. We just did do it. We just did the remote work. We have made it really clear how overdependent we are on the visitor industry. How do we diversify our economy? Because we want to survive, not just, we want to thrive, not just survive. So how do we move to prosperity? And definitely increasing our ag. We've wanted to do that for many years. Maybe we can be more committed to it at this present moment. Food production to table. When I look around at who is thriving at a middle class, it's these people who do virtual work. There's all kinds of them. Most of them have moved here from the continental United States. They're able to sort of virtually bring their career there. Maybe we can find a way to foster that amongst our population so that they can make more money. We want to avoid gentrification with that. My state issue, rivers and riparian flooding and the Albizia. We really need to somehow work with the state to get on top of that. We're having a lot of river damage. I think I'm just about out of my 10 minutes. I have a number of other things that I can bring up. Something I'm working on right now is looking at how we penalize people. We need penalties that are proportionate to the violation. A lot of our enforcement rules are designed to punish the rich, but mostly they can crush the common person. And so that's something I'm working on this week. Okay.
Awesome. All right. I don't even know who has the first dibs. Is it you, Charlie?
It's you.
Me?
It's you. Yep.
Okay. I'm going to ask you because we only get 5 minutes. And I'm going to ask you what I asked all the candidates. Drug Treatment Center. There's been some change in the direction. I just want to know your thoughts.
I'm very attached to that topic. I was on the original Coalition for Drug-Free Kauai when we began to envision this somewhere in the early 2000 window. I don't know, 2002, 2003, somewhere in that window. That was before the state took it over. I mean, the county took it over, and I've watched it ever since. I absolutely feel that we owe it to our kids. This has been a problem from long before that time. We've probably had 40 years of a problem. We need very much to take care of our kids. I spent 2 hours on a Zoom meeting this morning with admin, really pushing on that point. It's a long discussion to say where we're going to have to go from here, but I am absolutely committed to making sure that we are able to stay on the track that we are. I have to say I'm really disappointed at how that was slipped in. I would have liked to have had narrative and conversation, and I'm not comfortable with how that came to us. I would have liked to have known. I would have liked to have been able to influence that. I'm going to still try.
Thank you. Charlie?
Okay. Question regarding your first term. Your first term as a freshman council person. What do you feel is the most important issue that you've been involved with during this term, but it just couldn't get or come through fruition? It just kind of like you feel fell at the wayside. That if you're given a second term, if elected, that you would like to see brought up again and try to see it go through the process and come
well,
through.
I just spoke to that, and I'm not even waiting for a second term. I'm doing it right now. And that's when we look at these penalties that are $10,000 per day per violation, when by the admin's own admission, over 50% of our properties are out of alignment with what we're supposed to have with code. Now, would they do it? No, they wouldn't, but somebody in the future could. And so I believe there's an absence of malice in this one size fits all, that what we're doing. And we saw a year ago that was aimed at transient vacation rentals, but it's really for absolutely everyone and any violation. And so we just have to trust that no harm would really come, and where we place a lien on somebody's property. But when we build policy right now, we have to think about the future. It's not just if the people in the mayor's administration right now are good people and they wouldn't take an action. It's what would happen when we're all gone. And I think that people, government, and what I have seen in other municipalities, especially in the continental United States, people can come in and developers can come in and just completely replace an area. We can take an area that is high cost, no revenue, and switch it over. It's called gentrification, but you can take an entire area and just remove it. And we are vulnerable to that with the rules that we have. So that's one. I mean, I got a lot of others, but that one's this week, and it's a big one to me.
All right. You got about 45 seconds. You want to squeeze another one in there? I mean,
Okay.
It's so different between incumbents and first-time people because you have the background and the experience.
So something that was really useful for me in this time is I asked the county for a tour of the county. They didn't know what I meant with that at first. I did the Citizens Police Academy. That was 13 weeks. I went to fire training. I went to every department. And that's how I approach things. And it was super meaningful to me because I was able to see how hard our county employees work. I gained a whole lot of respect for it. And I think that it helped me to be a lot more prepared to be making decisions for those areas. I will continue to do that. I'm not going to make choices for departments without hearing what they have. FeliciaCowden.com, Felicia Cowden at gmail.com, and 652-4363.
Felicia, try that again, your website and your email.
FeliciaCowden.com, Felicia Cowden at gmail.com and 652-4363.
All right. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you so much. Good luck. Work hard. Audience applause.
Yay.
Do it again.
Thank
We'll get
you.
you back at some point. We're going to kick you off now. People, hang on. We're going to do our little post-show recap.
Thank you, Felicia. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll be listening.
All right, Charles. Gosh, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
8 down.
Yeah.
And we got 4, 8, 9 more to go.
Yep.
I tell you, man, I don't know how you keep score on this thing. How do you? I mean, geez.
I think what's going to happen is, and I think this is everyone's choice, because everything is done in a mail-in ballot. Because this is recorded. You can go back on Facebook, or you can go to your YouTube, right? Your YouTube page, and play this segments. And if any of you out there are kind of torn between some candidates, go back and review. Listen to what they say. See if they appeal to you. I think that's what I got to do, because these 2 nights I'm very impressed. Very, very impressed with both the incumbents as well as the first timers. I mean, I'm impressed.
I tell you, we've heard 8 so far, and 8. I like vote for 8 of them.
Yeah.
But we can only vote for 7, so it's going to be tough. I can only imagine how the other viewers. Again, another hint or clue for the candidates. All of these are on YouTube. I have no rights to I don't private. My videos are all public. So if I were you, I would go take my video, from my YouTube channel, take out your segment and share the crap out of that everywhere you can, because you folks all have done extremely well, and I think you folks all have covered areas I think that the people need to hear. So that's just a clue. I'm a novice in virtual campaigning, but that's something that I would do, man. I would take advantage of these pieces because it'll work, get the word out. But I tell you, Charlie, it's difficult, man. It's difficult. We got some good candidates. So far, all of them can be awesome representatives for this county.
Yes, I believe so.
So anyway, tomorrow night, tomorrow night we have Richard Fukushima, Donovan Kabibi, Jackie Nelson, and Deborah Lynn De Silva Cavero. So make sure you join us tonight. But before, we'll have a little chat. Tomorrow, the testing at KBR will be in the covered parking. We have, I guess, fortunately, capped off at 200 appointments. So thank you all that decided to go get a test. That'll be done tomorrow from 10 to 5. But there'll be signage. So when you come in, just follow the signs. You're going to go around and go through the covered parking area, and they're going to do the testing while you sit in your car. So you won't have to get out like originally planned. So make sure, go ahead and get there a little early, not too early, but get there before your appointment time and slide right in and get your test.
Yeah, everybody also practice. They gotta practice. They gotta practice safety, because they'll be in your car, and when they stick that thing up your nose, don't have your foot on the gas pedal, because you will bang some people. Let me tell you. So put your car in park. Okay, put your car in park. Turn off the key when they're ready to poke your nose. Right, Mel?
Absolutely, and don't forget your mask. You gotta wear your mask. And of course, you're gonna pull them down when they go up.
No, they're gonna poke them right through the mask. Bring your mask, the one that get the 2 holes. Okay, just bring your mask with the 2 holes. They can leave your mask on and they can poke them right through the mask.
Actually, it's a finger prick test. It's an antibody test. If you test positive, you'll get the nose swab. So anyway, a couple of thank yous. Number one, to Kauai Beach Resort. Kauai Beach Resort, because they have been generous. They generously allowed us to use their facility. So I just want to thank them for allowing us their location. Also want to thank, what's the matter, Charlie? What are you laughing at, man? What are you laughing at?
I'm just grateful to the people who stay on with us even when we get dry humor. They're sending all those faces, all those emojis. Thank you. I love you guys. I love you. Love you. Love you.
Speaking of dry humor, I also want to thank Garden Owl Portable Toilets. Quite Beach Resort, because we moved it to the outside, we want to make sure we have toilets available. So I called Lenny Raposo, not the former Parks Director Lenny, but there's another Lenny Raposo right here in Waialua. He owns and operates Garden Owl Portable Toilets. As soon as he found out what it was, that it was a community event, and Dr. T was his former doctor, he offered donating the portable toilets. I need to thank them. And again, if you guys have an event that you need portable toilets, don't forget Garden Owl Portable Toilets, okay? Because they helped us. And then we had a generous donation from one of Charlie's connections that took care of the airfare for Dr. T and his crew. That'll be here. So we just want to make sure, and they want to be anonymous, which we appreciate. But I just want to say, this to me is a very important event for Kauai, considering what just occurred over the last week. So for all of you that were able to get your appointments, good for you, because I know I had a couple of messages today from people that were not able to get appointments because they already maxed out at 200. So Charlie, you talked a little bit about the state's plan to open up or lift the interstate or the trans-Pacific or whatever the heck it's called quarantine.
Okay.
Why don't you share with us?
Well, before we came on tonight, I usually try to catch the 6 o'clock news, and it was one of the headlines, and they're talking about opening up travel to mainland travel to Hawaii. So I said, okay, here it goes. But one of the things they talked about was making a mandatory testing, 72-hour testing prior to getting onto the plane. And I didn't hear anything after that. And they talked about there will be no testing in Hawaii, meaning they said that if you don't have a test, it looks like the traveler will not be allowed to get onto the plane to come to Hawaii. That's the way it came across. So I've got to delve into it more, but I've been hearing that. I've been hearing that from different sources that's the way the governor was going to lean. Now, during our hour tonight, I've got another source that sent over something speaking of the fact that there is 2 departments that are still kind of like looking at blocking that. One being our favorite DOH, and the other one being the Attorney General's office. So nevertheless, I think that, we are getting a start to where, because that's what we wanted a pretest, right? We didn't want to be left with the Opala over here if they come over and say, I never get on test, then what? Because we know that the quarantine isn't working. So why even bother with that? Our whole intention is, one, keeping safe, making sure. And now, if I was the airlines, why I would buy into this program now is because I don't want any kind of infection to get into my planes or getting into the air system in the plane. This would be one of the best ways to know that, hey, if you're COVID-free, okay, you can come in. Because we talked about this before. There is no 100% sure-proof way. But this is pretty damn close. This is pretty damn close. So I think, people who are still hardcore about it, I said, then, find me a better solution than that. So that's what was played on the news tonight. That's what I brought for.
Yeah, I'm curious to see when they plan on doing that. If it's before August 1, I had heard it was going to be August 1st. I know the pressure from all the business organizations, the chamber, the visitor industry, has been hot and heavy on the governor to open it up sooner. I don't know. Honestly, I think to do it with a quarantine, I would hope that the testing, we all know how the testing works. You could be negative today, positive tomorrow. So the one test system, yes, Charlie, I agree with you that it's better than what we have. No, anything is better than what we have, right? It's not working right now.
Yep.
You posted that picture of the text message. They texting people to ask them if they're complying with the quarantine. That's insane. So yes, is it better? Absolutely, it's better. Is it the best thing? No, it's not. And I think there was a plan that was submitted by a few doctors. Some of our local Kauai doctors, Dr. Evslin, Dr. Wiener, Dr. Izaki, along with a doctor from University of Washington, that sent over a plan to the governor's office, a lieutenant governor, and it talked about a 2-test period. Basically, it was it was actually, I went back and read them. It was 2. I thought it was 3, but anyway, it's a 6-day quarantine. So in essence, they would get a test 2 occasions, and if they get a negative test on their 6th day here, then on the 7th day the quarantine is lifted. I mean, there's many variations, and they did the study to show the effectiveness of a 1 test 72 hours before departure. The difference isn't that much, but nonetheless, I think we want to try and do what's best for our local residents and not what's best for tourism. I understand we got to open up the economy, but at the end of the day, you know, I think the governor's made up his mind. I think it's going to happen. And again, I go back to what I said last night, that we got to protect ourselves, and we need to make sure that we are protected, that we wear our masks, that we do all of that stuff. I don't have to say it because I'm repeating myself, but
well, the only danger, the only danger again, like we said before, anything is better than what we have now. Again, if we do the 2 tests, just remember now, there's going to be that period, that lag between the 1st and 2nd test, whether or not those guys will quarantine in a government facility or in a facility of wherever they made their plans, and whether they're going to stay put. That's the problem, the compliance. Nobody wants to stay put. If we just stay the hell put, this whole thing can go to rest. But no, everybody is into, I like challenge the system. Then they scream bloody murder. Then when they get caught, it's unfair. What do you expect? I mean, you know, there's a lot of people like us who are law abiding. We get frustrated because we see all the other monkeys running around, acting up, and then they act like a bunch of crybabies. That's okay. That's okay. Like you want one whack in the ear and say, "Do you hear that ringing? Gonna be with you for a while. Keep it up." I mean,
you know, the other thing too. No, I think a lot of people share that. But the other thing the plan talked about, this Kauai plan, that was that the hotel, you know, the hotel should not be made responsible, or you know, unless you train them and you get them up to speed on quarantine violations. I mean, you know, if you put a guy in a quarantine facility, then somebody's got to be there to watch him. And it all comes down to this: how serious are we on capping this virus, so our local residents don't get infected? That's what it boils down to. How far are we willing to go? We do a lot right now, right? We get all these strike forces and task forces and all these things that we hire people to call up or text people to see if they're complying. Well, why not send them to the unit to go and check? Why not be more proactive on the investigating of these things? So yeah, I share your frustration, Charlie. Some of them really do. Some of them deserve one solid slap because, for the same reason you stated, they complain, they violate, they purposely circumvent the system. And we get local people helping them. So don't blame only the tourists. We get local people out there that are helping these tourists violate quarantine because they like make some money. That's not good. That's not good. See, we all got to do this together. If we want Corona to get off of the state, Kauai for me, we all gotta do our fair share. That means not renting your car on Turo so that some jackass can come in and get a car for his quarantine violation period. No, that's not how it works, and that's how we're gonna get hurt. So anyway.
Yep.
Sorry.
I like to thank the people for giving us our time of psychological healing. Mahalo, mahalo.
I really want to see. What I really want to see is the state or the counties to come up with a strike force for the TVRs and go after these illegal TVR guys, and you whack the TVR owner, you whack the TVR property manager, you whack the tourists, you whack every single body with the $10,000 a day fine that Felicia was talking about. That's how you end it A deterrence is that. Deterrence is not $100 ticket. Let me just say that. If you whack them hard, $1,000 a day is what the county code says.
You know, when I first moved here, I heard that word TVR. You know, oh boy, I only laughed. Because I told my wife, I never hear good. I said, why they make a big fuss about the recorder? She goes, what? He goes, yeah, you know the DVR. Why they like after the DVR for? She goes, honey, it's DVR. Why they making any kind of make noise for TVs? What's wrong with the TV? He goes, honey, just turn the damn channel. You don't understand what they're talking about.
Never a dull moment. Never a dull. Anyway, Charles, I know you're gonna take your test tomorrow at 10:30. So if you guys are at KBR tomorrow at 10:30, you're gonna have the wonderful opportunity to see Charlie Iona in the flesh. Unfortunately,
remember what I told you, right? And I tell this for the viewers: the testing is tomorrow. If they give you an enema test, you're at the wrong site. Okay, COVID is not enema. Okay, go to the nose. All right, so let's get that straight.
Charlie gonna be there. Go get his autograph, do what you want. I'm gonna be home on quarantine, but he's gonna be, he's gonna be video, you remember HIPAA now. You can be taking videos of people without their permission, Charlie. Okay, so I worry about you, but Charlie gonna get some good critical interviews from some of you that are willing to. I hope some of you will go up to Charlie and go get interviewed, do a Facebook Live, because this is important. People need to know what's going on, and that's all it really is. It'll be fun. I think Tyson and Rhonda go be there, Charlie. Maybe you can do an interview with them on Facebook.
Not that kind, bro. I like interview. I go, okay, he come over there. The swab's still stuck in his nose. I go, bro, you gotta give the swab to the lady. You don't be walking around the ticket nose. I go, bro, help me. I came to see you. Help me pull him out. The bug is stuck.
When you hear that laugh, then it's kind of like time we gotta go. It's time to go. Anyway, Charlie, any closing comments before we get the heck out of Dodge?
No, love you guys. Mahalo. Thank you so much. And again, thank you for sticking with us, because the light is at the end of the tunnel. And the thing is, we just gotta go. We gotta go towards that light, because a lot of things, safety first. Like Mel said, let's just practice safety, and we'll get through this. But again, if we all don't buy into the program, I can assure you, it's only kicking the can down the road, and it's going to take longer to open. I, like you, is frustrated, but let's get it done. Let's do it right and get it done. Mahalo. Thank you.
Roger that. Remember, guys, stay safe, protect yourselves. And don't forget, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Richard Fukushima, Donovan Kabibi, Jackie Nelson, and Deborah Lindy Silva Cavero. And we should have some fun tomorrow night. So anyway, guys, you guys stay safe. Take care. We love you guys. God bless. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Charlie will see you guys tomorrow at KBR. Audience applause. Aloha.